Good morning, everyone. Yes, it's morning, and it's morning in paradise. You know, with all the problems that we have, and in particular California with all the fires, and people talk about earthquakes all the time, especially in the Midwest and the East Coast. They ask, why do you live out there? I wouldn't want to live in an earthquake area. Well, it's days like this, which more often than not. So, yeah, I'm gonna live in paradise. There's Nomi. Hi, Nomi. Well, okay, we're going to talk about dahlias. And I'm one day late. Excuse me. I'm one day late to talk about this beauty, which I think is Mango Madness. I'm hoping that maybe somebody out there is going to take a look at this and say, no, that's not Mango Madness, that's something else. But it's the only dahlia that we have. We have this dinner plate, and oddly, we're getting this more single open one. So, not quite sure what's going on. But these are our dahlias. This is our dahlia container. You see, it's basically a horse trough. Got a few mums for full color. And the reason why we're a day too late is that where that dinner plate dahlia came from is this broken branch here. So I've been learning a lot about dahlias, particularly from other people online, but I have a few things to say about what we're doing here. Excuse me. First of all, what you'll find in a lot of other videos is a talk about dividing dahlias and, staking dahlias and pruning dahlias and storing dahlias. And there's only been one, and I'll post a link to it, out of Oregon, where they've talked about actually pruning the dahlia very early in the season, like with the first buds, which will allow the dahlia to sprout more branches, which will lead to stronger stems and better cut flowers, probably because of the stronger stems. So we didn't do that here. We just kind of let it grow, and it got tall, and with that enormous flower on it, became too heavy, and chances are either a breeze or a bird toppled it over. So I had to cut it and bring it on, which, I'm not sneezing at. It has a second bloom coming. There it is. So I'm looking forward to enjoying that for a while. Okay, so dahlias. We've had these dahlias for a while. We've got this, what I think is a Mango Madness. It's got a few other buds. Hopefully that one won't fall over. I should probably stake that. And then we have the purple leaf single flower here, which I love the intense color of it. And so what we have learned here in Northern California is that the plants do fantastic when we first plant them in the spring and let them grow and do their thing. They put out amazing amounts of buds and flowers for the early part of the summer. But then afterward, what they do is start to look pretty bad. The plants, they basically have just put all their energy into that first growth and not look good for the rest of it, for the rest of the summer. And I'm guessing that there's a couple of things at play. First of all, we have an extremely long season, whereas in so many parts of the other parts of the country, we have shorter seasons, you know? So they probably don't really get started in other areas of the country, like the Midwest and the East Coast, until much later, whereas ours have already started. And the season goes a little shorter. So that may be one thing that's going on. The second is that we do not fertilize. And from what I understand, most of the time, the dahlia growers do not fertilize initially, not when they're starting to grow, but as they start producing their bloom stalks and continue to grow, that's where they put in some fertilizer and extra water so that the bloom season can continue. Well, like I said, we don't really do that, or we haven't done that yet. We've avoided the idea of dousing them with more fertilizer. For one, I'm not completely supportive of using fertilizers, so there's that. But what we've learned in the process is that when they start looking really bad, we can actually cut them down pretty low to the ground and basically start over. So we're toward the end of October now, and we've gotten a couple of spikes. There's other spikes. I don't know if they will produce. You know, there's some buds here. We're in that window where frost normally can happen at any time, but you know, the seasons have been getting more mild, and now we're in this situation where we're getting the rewards of a second bloom. So we'll see. We'll see if we'll either keep doing this process of cutting down in the middle of summer and starting over, or if we should douse them with fertilizer. The other thing is that we are having problems with, I think it's leaf miner. Let's see if I can show that. Which we've had problems before. Yeah, you can see the trails, so it looks like it's leaf miner. We've had that problem with some of the roses too. And we also, now that we're getting into cooler, warmer days, cool nights, that's common for this time of season, we're starting to get, let's see if I can show it better. We're starting to get mildew on the leaves. So I think we're just going to get foliage on most of these purple leaf. Let me show you the orange one. This flower is, I guess is that spent? Or I think it already bloomed and has passed. And I don't see any other really vigorous buds, but the foliage is nice, so that's okay. This is in contrast to what I've seen in Golden Gate Park. Next to the conservatory, for as long as I remember, there's been a dahlia patch next to the conservatory, and it has thrived. And I think it's because the weather there is cooler and the soil is more loose and well draining. So they probably douse them with quite a bit of water during the summer, but they're very proliferate. They proliferate and thrive. So I may want to check in and see how they're doing during this time of year. All right, so that's my take on dahlias in Northern California. Very curious to know if anybody else has had this experience of cutting them back hard and then having them re-bloom in the fall. And we'll go from there. Have a good day.